यस आई गुड आफ्टरनून ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स। आप लोगों का स्वागत है आज की इस मीटिंग के अंदर। और मैं जैसे कि देख पा रहा हूँ हमारे स्पीकर राजेश पारेख जी आ चुके हैं एंड डॉक्टर साहब भी आ चुके हैं। डॉक्टर साहब पोजीशन देख लिया और आप दोनों का स्वागत है। और मैं आज की कार्रवाई को बढ़ाने के लिए संदीप बिष्ट जी से कहूँगा कि वो मीटिंग को स्टार्ट करें।
नमस्कार, आप लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अपनी कीमती समय निकालने के लिए। वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून। मैं आप लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ, आप लोगों ने समय निकाला और इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को अटेंड करने के लिए आए हैं। मैं आशा करता हूँ आप लोग सब अपने घर पे सेफ होंगे और गवर्नमेंट की गाइडलाइंस का होम क्वारंटाइन का पालन कर रहे होंगे। तो इस मुश्किल की घड़ी में जैसे कि हम सब लोग एमएसएमई एंटरप्रेन्योर्स और स्टार्टअप्स हैं, तो गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ पैकेजेस रिलीज किए हैं, लाइक इनकम टैक्स में, जीएसटी में, कस्टम्स में और कंपनीज एक्ट में। जैसे कि इनकम टैक्स 5 लाख तक का जिसका इनकम टैक्स होगा उनको तुरंत रिफंड देगी, जिसमें कि 14 लाख एमएसएमईज और स्टार्टअप्स बेनिफिटेड होंगे। जीएसटी का भी रिफंड और एक्साइज के रिफंड्स भी वो तुरंत ही रिफंड प्रोसेस तेजी से करने की उन्होंने मुहिम करी है, जिसमें कि 1 लाख बिजनेस एमएसएमईज को फायदा होगा, 1 लाख बिजनेस एंटिटीज को फायदा होगा, जिसका टोटल बेनिफिट जो होगा 18,000 करोड़ का होगा। इसी तरह से गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ और बेनिफिट्स दिए हैं, लाइक 3 महीने का मोरेटोरियम बैंक इंटरेस्ट पे, टीडीएस रिटर्न्स में कुछ रिलैक्सेशन दिए हैं, कुछ गाइडलाइंस उन्होंने एक्सटेंड करी हैं, लाइक फाइलिंग ऑफ इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न ऑफ असेसमेंट ईयर 1920, आधार और पैन लिंकिंग का जो टाइम ड्यूरेशन है वो उन्होंने बढ़ा दिया है, इन्वेस्टमेंट करने की टाइम लिमिट बढ़ा दी है, जो कि अभी राजेश जी कवर करेंगे। 80G का स्कोप थोड़ा सा बढ़ाया है, डोनेशन जो पीएम केयर फंड में हम लोग कर रहे हैं, 80G की जो डोनेशन है उसको हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, उसका कैसे बेनिफिट ले सकते हैं, जो हम लोग 80G की पीएम केयर फंड में हम लोग पैसा डाल रहे हैं। इसके अलावा बहुत सारे रिलैक्सेशन दिए गए कंपनीज एक्ट में, लाइक जिनका DI3 KYC नहीं हुआ था, डिन नंबर जिनका सस्पेंड हो गया था, अब गवर्नमेंट ने उसमें पेनल्टी 30 सितंबर तक की वेव ऑफ कर दी है। बोर्ड मीटिंग्स के नियम्स उन्होंने थोड़े से रिलैक्स कर दिए हैं। इस क्वार्टर में बोर्ड मीटिंग की लिमिट आई थिंक 6 महीने कर दी है, जून क्वार्टर की मीटिंग ना भी हो तो भी चलेगा, टिल सितंबर हम एक मीटिंग कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट जो कि कंपनीज को विदिन 6 मंथ्स ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन फाइल करना होता था, उसमें 180 दिन का बेनिफिट उन्होंने और दे दिया है। तो कोई पेनल्टी नहीं लेगी, जिसमें 1000 रुपए पर डे के हिसाब से पेनल्टी थी अगर हम फाइल नहीं करते। डायरेक्टर्स जो कि इंडिया में नहीं रहते, कंपनी एक्ट के हिसाब से एक डायरेक्टर हमेशा इंडिया में रहना चाहिए 182 दिन से ज्यादा, बट ड्यू टू कोविड अगर कोई डायरेक्टर 182 दिन के अंदर नहीं रह पाता तो भी वो डिफॉल्ट में नहीं माना जाएगा। वो राजेश जी थोड़ा सा कवर करेंगे अभी। तो ये सब लोग अब आज हम इन कॉन्फ्रेंस में इन सब चीजों को जानने की कोशिश करेंगे। तो मैं गुजारिश कर रहा हूँ अपने स्पीकर डॉक्टर सुनील मक्कू जी से, जो कि हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हैं, एडवोकेट हैं, इंसॉल्वेंसी प्रोफेशनल हैं और साथ ही साथ एक न्यूमरोलॉजिस्ट भी हैं, और हमारे चैम्बर के प्रेसिडेंट हैं डॉक्टर सुनील मक्कू जी, और राजेश पारेख जी जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, वेटरन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और पार्टनर है आर कोठारी एंड कंपनी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट फर्म के, और साथ ही मेंबर हैं हमारे नेशनल एग्जीक्यूटिव कमेटी के चैम्बर ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स इंडस्ट्रीज एंड एंटरप्रेन्योर्स इंडिया काउंसिल के। स्वागत है आप दोनों का सर। डॉक्टर सुनील मक्कू जी, ऑल ओवर टू यू।
बिफोर स्टार्ट दिस मीटिंग कुछ जरूरी अनाउंसमेंट्स है दोस्तों। एक तो ये रिक्वेस्ट हमारी रहेगी, सभी लोग जूम को ज्यादातर यूज करना जानते ही हैं, तो साथ में अपना माइक जो है वो प्लीज म्यूट के ऊपर रखिएगा, और जिनका माइक म्यूट पे नहीं है उनको हम कर देंगे। ये एक इंटरेक्टिव सेशन है, यहाँ कोई भाषणबाजी नहीं है, तो आप लोग अपने सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, बट एक तरीके से आप लोगों के मोबाइल फोन के अंदर एक राइट हैंड साइड पे 3 डॉट्स आ रहे होंगे, आप उसके अंदर क्लिक करेंगे तो आपको रेज हैंड का ऑप्शन मिलेगा, आप रेज हैंड कीजिए, हम आपका नाम बुलाएंगे, जब आपका नाम बुलाया जाएगा तब आप अपना सवाल पूछेगा। तो ताकि इससे मीटिंग के अंदर खिचड़ी ना पके, सब लोग एक साथ बात ना करनी शुरू करते हैं, तो पहले स्पीकर को बोलने का मौका दें, जब वो अपनी बात खत्म कर लें देन रेज योर हैंड फॉर आस्किंग योर क्वेश्चंस। सो थैंक यू एंड ओवर टू सुनील मक्कू जी। थैंक यू।
और मैं एक बार ये करूंगा, यहाँ पे हमारे बहुत सारे एसोसिएशन जुड़ी हुई है, लाइक सेरा जुड़ा हुआ है हमारे साथ, कंस्ट्रक्शन रेंटल इक्विपमेंट एसोसिएशन, सतीन जी हैं और सेरा के काफी सारे मेंबर्स हैं। एसएमई वेंचर है बॉम्बे से, एसएमई वर्ल्ड है अपना राजन जी यहाँ पे है, एसएमई वर्ल्ड के एडिटर इन चीफ, और शार्क वेंचर्स है। तो ये सब लोगों का भी स्वागत है, आप साथ साथ सारे पार्टिसिपेंट का स्वागत है। सुनील मक्कू जी प्लीज।
धन्यवाद संदीप। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वेलकम all who are on this video conferencing, and especially I am thankful to our young team of our advisor Sandeep Bisht, Ashutosh and Sunil ji, who have taken this initiative for this, and I can see a lot of friends from our chamber, Rajan ji, Satyan ji, all are welcome and all dear friends. See, this coronavirus, COVID, is a global phenomena. It is a situation which has come and put everything in dilemma. Now, there are a lot of apprehensions. I remember if you face a problem, the best part is to uh, do away with the problem, is to face it boldly. Now, we have been all caught unaware. We never expected this situation to arise in our lifetime. So, as they say, there is a term called blessing in disguise. So, there are some pros and there are some cons also. So, the thing is this, that I remember an anecdote of Swami Vivekanand. He said, once I was going through the narrow streets of Varanasi, and it was in the pitch dark in the evening, and I realized that some monkeys started following me, and they were coming nearer, and I started running. And they also, because monkeys are, told that they follow you immensely, so they also started running, and there was hardly any distance. Suddenly, there was an inner voice which came, said, Narendra, why are you running? Stop. He said, and Swamiji says that I stopped, I turned back, the monkeys also stopped, and they turned away. And then he concludes, he says, that is why, my friends, I say that if there are problems in life, then you should not run away. If you run away, they will come closer. And if you face the problems, they will go away. So we are in that kind of situation. But the thing is that every problem, if there is a problem, there is a solution also. Now, being in this chamber, what we need to do is this, that we have already given a representation to the Ministry of Finance during budget time. And some of the suggestions which we had given, 3 or 4 of them, they were included also. Now, the role of the regulator becomes very important. Other deliberations like, what has happened and what are the relaxations in the Income Tax and Companies Act and GST, that will be taken by my dear friend Ajesh Parikh, who is a practicing chartered accountant. But as far as I am concerned, there was a press meet in the morning for RBI, and they have also again come up with some more relaxations, because what have been said is this, that the big corporates are not facing problem. The problems is being faced by the MSME. Now, MSME is a sector which creates the maximum employment. So, RBI has to come up with certain scheme where they have to relax that the fund should be given to the MSME, so that the employment part also does not suffer. Because if the MSME will suffer, the employment part will also suffer, and which is going to create a big problem in the times to come. Second thing is this, that there is an apprehension regarding our fraternity of chartered accountants as far as bank audits this year is concerned. Now, already the RBI has said that we have to abide by the regulations of SEBI. There is a confusion going on whether there will be a the branch audit of the statutory branch audit will be in place or not. So we are looking forward to RBI to come up with more schemes, and we are open to all these suggestions in case we come across certain suggestions which we have to take up with the regulative authorities. We'll definitely do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your positive thoughts which you have shared about the bank audits, and hope for the company's audit date should also be extended this year. Sure. Rajesh ji, please address the gathering.
First of all, I will start with the relaxation given in the income tax. And Sandeep, I have shared with you the flow chart of the time limit relaxations in the income tax returns.
Yeah, 1 second, sir. I'm just sharing my screen.
Okay. First of all, there is time limit relaxations. As you know, in the last year, the belated returns means the returns which are not filed in time, but there was a time limit which was given to the taxpayers about filing of their return beyond the due date of income tax returns. It was curtailed to 1 year, 2 years back. Now there has been a relaxation for filing of return of income for the assessment year 2019-20. The due date for filing for assessment year 2019-20 was 31st March 2020. Now it has been extended up to 30th June 2020. Also, for the assessment year 1920, the revised return, if one has filed the original return before the due date, and now he or any company wants to revise the return of income tax, then the revised return can be filed up to 30th June 2020. Second point is Aadhaar PAN linking. The last date for this was 31st March 2020. Now it has been extended to 30th June 2020. Then
नहीं वो तो बहुत पहले आ गया था, मैंने आपको बताया ना, मेरी बात नहीं कर रहा हूं।
पहले आ गया था, लेकिन सर ये सर्कुलर के हिसाब से सारा कर दिया गया है इसको। अब क्या है कि जो प्रोसीजरल एस्पेक्ट्स है, notice, intimation, notification, approval order, sanction order, filing of appeal, furnishing of return, statements, application reports, any other documents, where the time limit is expiring between 20th March 20 to 29th June 2020. Then the last date of filing or issuing of notice will be 30th June 2020. And in other cases where the time limit for completion of proceedings, say some SSCs are under scrutiny, assessment proceedings are going on, and the time limit was 31st March 2020. Now this has been extended to 30th June 2020. Any compliance by the taxpayer under Income Tax Act, Wealth Tax Act, Benami Property Transaction Act, Black Money Act, STT law, CTP law, equalization levy, Vivad Se Vishwas law scheme. This has also been extended to 30th June 2020. And investment under capital gain. There are various sections for claiming deductions under section 54 to 54 GB. In the case of long-term capital gains. The earlier date was 31st March 2020. Now it has been extended to 30th June 2020. And investment for deduction under Chapter 6A of the Income Tax Act, that is ATC, ATD, ATG, ATC to ATGGP, which is pertaining to individuals and HUFs. This has also been extended to 30th June. It simply implies if you make investment in any of the notified schemes or LIC or PPFs up to 30th June, then it will be qualifying for deduction 2021. Then Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. As you all know, there was a scheme brought in by the government of India. Vivad Se Vishwas. If any disputed matter is pending before any appellate authority, then this scheme was brought in to bring an end to most of the litigations. Most of the litigations. Whereby the SSC was, if SSC opts to pay the disputed tax in principle by 31st March 2020, then he has to pay no interest and no penalty. Now the time limit for this has also been extended to 30th June 2020. And it covers equalization levy, securities transaction tax, commodities transaction tax. Securities STT and CTT are mainly applicable to the share brokers who have not paid the STT well within the time. And other taxes are applicable to almost everybody equalization levy is a different aspect. It is applicable on international transactions. So if one pays by the date of 30th June 2020, then there is no interest, no penalty, and all the prosecution and penalty proceedings by the income tax department will be withdrawn. Next, specified investments payments such as investment in public provident fund, LIC, or donation to avail deduction from income for financial year 1920, that means assessment year 2021, where the investment was to be made till 31st March 2020. Now these investments payment to avail deductions from income for financial year 1920 can be made till 30th June 2020. And this next point is a specific one. It is pertaining to EEZs, special economic zones. Beginning of manufacture or production of articles or things or providing any services referred to in section 10 AA of that act in a case where the letter of approval required to be issued in accordance with the provisions of Special Economic Zones Act 2005 was 31st March 2020, it has been extended to 30th June 2020. So this is aimed to benefit the industries or units situated in the Special Economic Zone, where the approval was to be issued by 31st March 2020. The benefit will be available now to those units also whose approval letters have been issued by 30th June 2020. Then there are smaller things. Interest on income tax dues, that is advance tax, self-assessment tax, TDS, TCS, owing to the present situation. If one is not able to pay the advance tax or self-assessment tax or TDS, TCS, earlier there was a levy of 18% and 12% per annum after due date for the period from the date of default. Now it has been reduced to 9% per annum up to 30th June 2020. Then PM CARES Fund. If anyone donates any amount to the PM CARES Fund, the full name is Prime Minister Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations Fund, would be exempt under section 1023C. That means 100% exemption has been given to those people, those SSCs who donate to the PM CARES Fund. And also donation to PM CARES Fund would enable the donor to get 100% deduction in section 80G to 3A without any internal limit of 10% of adjusted gross total income. That means PM CARES Fund has been brought at par with the Prime Minister National Relief Fund or certain other trusts or funds where the income donations given to these trusts or funds is exempt to the extent of 100%. Then certificate of lower TDS or TDS under section 195, 197 and 206C. TDS, this is mainly benefiting those people who are either retired or are having interest from fixed deposits or securities, and their income is below the threshold limit, or their limit is their income is such that deduction of TDS at a higher rate does not augur well, because ultimately they have to claim refund after filing their return of income. In those cases, the SSC had been given an option to give a form to the banks or financial institutions to cut the TDS at a lower rate or nil rate. This exercise had to be done by the taxpayers or SSCs in the month of April. Now this date has been extended to 30th June. That means the Form 15G or 15H given by the SSCs in the financial year 1920 would also be holding good till 30th June 2020. After that, they can file fresh 15G or 15H with the tax deductors. Based on that, they will not be deducting TDS or deducting TDS at a lower rate. 197 and 2006 C is mainly applicable to the contractors whose tax TDS rate is 1% or 2% based upon their status. That means they are non-corporate entities or corporate entities. In case of non-corporate, it is 1%. In case of corporate, it is 2%. But now, this limit of filing under section 197 and 2006 C has been extended to 30th June 2020. That means if the income tax department has issued certificates to these deductees in the financial year 1920, so those certificates will be good till 30th June 2020.
सर एक बार आप एक्सप्लेन कर देंगे 15G और 15H क्या होते हैं? Although we all know, but
15G और 15H वो होते हैं जो जिनकी इनकम इंडिविजुअल्स के केस में ये एप्लीकेबल होता है, और इंटरेस्ट ऑन सिक्योरिटीज, इंटरेस्ट ऑन सिक्योरिटीज का मतलब है इंटरेस्ट ऑन फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट एंड अदर सिक्योरिटीज, तो उस पे 10% टैक्स जनरली काटा जाता है इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स पे। बट अगर उनकी इनकम बिलो टैक्सेबल है तो दे कैन फाइल बिफोर द बैंक्स और फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस और द सिक्योरिटी इशूअर्स दैट देयर इनकम इज वेल बिलो द थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट और टैक्सेबल लिमिट। उस केस में वो टीडीएस नहीं काटेंगे आपका, और पूरा का पूरा इंटरेस्ट आपको अकाउंट में क्रेडिट हो जाएगा। दिस इज 15G एंड 15H। ठीक है संदीप?
बिल्कुल ठीक है।
बट इसमें अगर आपका एफडी का इंटरेस्ट इज मोर देन द थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट्स तो डिडक्ट करके ही करेंगे, उसका डिडक्शन पूरा ही होगा।
बिल्कुल करेंगे, लेकिन अगर मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जांपल थ्रेशोल्ड जो लिमिट है, टैक्सेबल लिमिट 3 लाख है, तो आपकी इनकम है 4 लाख से, तो आप 5% ब्रैकेट में आ रहे हैं। करेक्ट। उस केस में आपके ऊपर सिर्फ 5,000 रुपए टैक्स बन रहा है।
करेक्ट, बट डिस्पाइट गिविंग 15H एंड 15G ये फॉर्म देने के बाद भी डिडक्शन होगा?
सर मैं नहीं होगा, उसमें आप करेंगे कि आपकी 3-4 लाख रुपए इनकम है तो मेरा 5,000 रुपए टैक्स बनता है, लेकिन 4 लाख रुपए की टोटल आपकी एफडीआर की इंटरेस्ट इनकम है। Correct. तो उस पे वो 40,000 टीडीएस काटेगा।
करेक्ट।
तो देन यू विल इश्यू कि मेरी इनकम पे टैक्स जो है 5,000 रुपीज है ओनली, तो you should deduct only 5% tax, 5,000 tax on the total income.
Bracket.
Yes, as per the bracket.
Right.
ऐसे ही 197 और 206 सी है जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स के केस में है। कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स के केस में क्या है, 2% जैसे कंपनी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स है जिनका स्टेटस कंपनी है, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड और लिमिटेड कंपनी और एलएलपी, उनमें 2% कटता है। बट if the SSC shows to the assessing officer, से 1 करोड़ की टोटल इनकम थी उसकी, 1 करोड़ पे उसको 2% कट गया 2 लाख रुपीज, बट द SSC शो कि मेरी इनकम टोटल ही टैक्सेबल इनकम दैट इज 2 लाख, तो 30% या 25% स्लैब में मैं जाता हूं तो मेरी टैक्स की लायबिलिटी दैट कम्स टू 50,000 और 60,000। तो उस केस में असेसिंग ऑफिसर उसको एक सर्टिफिकेट इशू करेगा of lower deduction.
Could you please explain that?
Pardon, sir?
Could you explain the tax implication in NRI accounts? NRI and NRO accounts? अगर मेरी NRI अकाउंट में एफडी पड़ी है, हाँ, तो प्लीज एक्सप्लेन दैट 15G and 15H is not applicable to NRI and NRO accounts.
Yes, उस केस में एप्लीकेबल नहीं है।
तो उसमें they have to be liable for 30% deduction, I guess. Flat.
उस पे 30% होगा, but based on their income, they can claim refund.
Yeah, but bank, the financial institution should deduct the income tax from ₹1.
Yes.
At a rate of 30%.
Correct. उस पे कोई threshold limit नहीं है। लेकिन वो रिटर्न फाइल करते हुए दिखाएगा उतनी, और जितना रिफंड है ही विल क्लेम इट, और वो रिफंड आ जाएगा। नेक्स्ट चले सर? ओके, नेक्स्ट इज विड्रॉल फ्रॉम प्रोविडेंट फंड। इसमें अभी इन्होंने विड्रॉल फ्रॉम पीएफ while in service is restricted for employees. However, employees provident fund organization has allowed employees to obtain a non-refundable advance from their existing PF balance while in service. The amount of advance shall be lower of 3 months basic and dearness allowance or 75% of the balance in PF account, whichever is lower. It is clarified that amount being advanced will not be taxable. इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन में हर आदमी को अपने फंड्स की जरूरत है।
हम कितने टाइम बाद हम लोग निकाल सकते हैं सर पीएफ के अमाउंट को? हम कितने साल बाद निकाल सकते हैं, कितने मंथ बाद निकाल सकते हैं? वेदर देयर इज अ टाइम ड्यूरेशन इन दैट?
टाइम ड्यूरेशन है, लेकिन अभी इस केस में इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन में इन्होंने आपको अलाउ कर दिया है।
ओके,
और उसकी टाइम लिमिट जो आएगी वो कितने बाद आपको डालना पड़ेगा, दैट दे विल प्रिस्क्राइब लेटर। Next is, in the context of COVID-19 situation and with the view to provide immediate relief to the business entities and individuals, it has been decided to issue all the pending income tax refunds up to ₹5 lakh immediately. This would benefit around 14 lakh taxpayers. It has also been decided to issue all pending GST and custom refunds, which would provide benefit to around 1 lakh business entities, including MSMEs. Thus, the total refund granted will be approximately 18,000 crore rupees. This relief has been given.
Yes, we have got the emails and we have reverted on that. So it may start coming any day. This is what is written during the mail which we have got from Income Tax Department.
The following financial banking services have been relaxed for up to 3 months. Debit card holders can withdraw cash for free from any bank's ATM without any charge. Minimum balance fees has been waived. The trade finance consumers will be charged with a lower bank charge for all the digital trade transactions. That means you can withdraw from any bank ATM without payment of any charge whatsoever.
So for the income tax refund and the GST refund, whether we have to file the form or they will automatically refund the same by immediate process from their end?
Refund in income tax is an automatic process. While filing your income tax returns, you simply show your tax liability and the TDS and other taxes paid by you. And difference of that, if the payment made by exceeds the tax liability, then it automatically results in refund. And based on the summary assessment under section 143(1)(a), if the assessing officer is of the opinion refund has to be granted, he will issue a statement under section 143(1)(a), that is called, in general language, it is called summary assessment. And based on that, it will issue a refund. And now it is an automated process through CPC Bangalore generally. And there is no manual intervention.
So now we open the house for the queries related to the income tax. Now then we will, Rajesh ji cover will goods and service tax, I guess. Any queries, please raise your hand.
I think, Sandeep, it will be better if we cover all the aspects of GST and company law in one go.
No issue, sir. No issue, we can.
My colleague Gurvinder Singh is also there. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Sir, if you suggest, if you advise, then we can take the question answer session after the total relaxation under company law and GST. It will hardly take 10 to 15 minutes to explain all those relaxations.
I think you can go ahead, Rajesh ji. We'll take the questions after your session is over.
Okay, sir. A summary of relief measures relating to statutory and regulatory compliance under Companies Act and Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008 in view of COVID-19. First of all, there is Companies Auditor Report Order 2020, which is generally known as CARO 2016. Earlier it was. Now it has been modified and it has been re-christened as to CARO 2020. Earlier, it was prescribed that CARO 2020 shall be applicable from the financial year 1920. A direction was issued somewhere in November 2019 about this. Now it has been postponed to financial year 2021 in view of COVID-19 and the practical difficulties faced by the companies as well as the auditors in complying with all those provisions of CARO 2020. It was a very it had covered a lot of other aspects relating to companies. Now it has been postponed to financial year 2021. So for financial year 1920, CARO 2016 would be applicable. Next is LLP Act 2008 forms. Earlier, if there was any delay in filing forms under LLP Act 2008, so for every day there was a penalty of ₹100. That means 100 per day. If you delay the forms by 30 days, then you have to pay ₹3,000 as penalty along with the prescribed fees. Now these forms can be filed till 30th September 2020 without any additional fee or penalty. Whatever is there, you can file simply with the normal fees, that is ranging from 200 rupees to 500 rupees, based upon the capital employed by the LLP, Limited Liability Partnership. So LLP Settlement Scheme 2020 has been revised accordingly. Then Companies Act 2013 forms. Similar process was in the case of filing of forms by the companies. If there was any delay in filing of forms by the companies, then there was a penalty of ₹100 per day, and it continued till the date of filing. The same example, if you delay the form by 30 days, then you have to pay 3,000 rupees penalty along with the fees prescribed under the MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs rules. Now it has been extended to 30th September 2020. Whatever forms are pending for filing by the companies, whether there is a list of 76 forms, which I will share with Sandeep ji later on to be circulated. So they can be filed up to 30th September 2020 without paying any additional fee. And the scheme also contains provisions for giving immunity from penal proceedings, including against imposition of penalties for late submissions, and also provide additional time for filing appeals before the concerned regional directors against imposition of penalties if already imposed. That means a total blanket condonation has been given by the MCA from imposing penalty or prosecution against the defaulting companies or its directors. However, the immunity is only against delayed filing in MCA 21 and not against any substantive violation of law. This is a very wide concept, and we can discuss it later on. What is substantive violation of law? For the smaller companies, it is enough that only generally their default is filing of forms within time. So that immunity has been granted to them without paying any additional fee. Further, MCA has also notified companies Fresh Start Scheme 2020 for the same. The scheme is applicable for all forms except relating to increase in authorized capital, charge related, CSG1, CSG4, CSG8, CSG9, where the time limit is prescribed that you have to file within 1 month. So there is no immunity for payment of additional fee. And following companies cannot avail of this scheme: companies against which action for final notice of strike down has been initiated by the designated authority. In this case, generally it is Registrar of Companies, ROC of different states. companies have themselves filed application for strike off. Companies which have amalgamated and where applications have been filed for dormant status and vanishing companies. Companies which are not filing any returns for a long time, in those cases, it will not be applicable. Fourth point is,
I think in case,
yes.
I think in this case, 3 years. They have continuously not filed the financial statements with the ROC. Then the status will be dormant, I think, inactive.
You have to file before the ROC that we are a dormant company. We are not operating, we are not undertaking any business activity, but owing to certain, because we are holding certain property or investments, whereby it cannot be struck off. So, till the time the company starts undertaking any business activity, so the status may be kept dormant. In that case, there is a relaxation in filing of various forms by the companies. So that is dormant company. Dormant company has to file only 1 or 2 forms with the ROC in a financial year. That's it. Sandeep, any other query?
No, sir. Please carry on.
Okay. Then holders of DIN marked as deactivated due to non-filing of DIR3 KYC, DIR3 KYC web, and those companies whose compliance status has been marked as active non-compliant. So automatically DIN of the directors in those companies has been deactivated by the ROC, MCA, and they are encouraged to become compliant once again in pursuance of General Circular number 11 dated 24th March 2020 and file DIR3 KYC, DIR3 KYC web active as the case may be between 1st April 2020 to 30th September without any filing of rupees 5,000 or 10,000 respectively. You know, we are in filing of DIR3 KYC, there was a time limit. And again, they are DIR3 KYC web. If you are holding a valid DIN and you have filed DIR3 KYC, then you had to file DIR3 KYC web again. It was a very simple mechanism. But if you don't file beyond that certain particular time, then you have to pay penalty of rupees 5,000 or 10,000. So that has been waived off. So once the company file all the documents with the company, their annual returns, their financial statements with the ROC, based on that, the directors can apply to the ROC by filing their DIR3 KYC and DIR3 KYC web and get their DINs activated. MCA further clarifies that contribution to PM CARES Fund shall qualify as CSR expenditure. You know, there is a provision in the Companies Act for companies falling within a specific bracket to spend 2% of their total post-tax profit to CSR, corporate social responsibilities, that means to charitable institutions, to social organizations, or they can spend on their own social activities. So there was 2%. So now if the companies donate 2%, so this will qualify as CSR expenditure and comply with the provisions of Companies Act 2013. MCA amends Companies Meeting of Board and its powers rules to allow meeting on matters referred in Rule 4.1 account approval, etc. through video conferencing, etc. till 30th June 2020. The mandatory requirement of holding meeting of board of the companies within the intervals provided in Section 773 of Companies Act 2013, that is 120 days, stand extended by a period of 60 days till next 2 quarters, that is till 30th September. Accordingly, as a one-time relaxation, the gap between 2 consecutive meetings of board may extend up to 180 days till the next 2 quarters instead of 120 days. Suppose a company hold its board meeting as on 31st March 2020. So the next board meeting can be held up 30th September. Earlier, the company was board meeting. Now it has been extended to 30th September and there will be no non-compliance so far as Companies Act 2013 is concerned. As per para 7.1 of Schedule 6, Schedule 4 of CA 13, independent directors are required to hold at least one meeting without the attendance of non-independent directors and members of management. Now, for the financial year 1920, if the IDs, independent directors of the company, have not been able to hold such a meeting, the same shall not be viewed as a violation. The independent directors, however, may share their views among themselves through telephone, email, or any other mode of communication if they deem it necessary. If any urgent matter of discussion comes up before the independent directors, then they can issue with the telephonic call, email, or through video conferencing, or like us, as we are having a Zoom meeting which is duly recorded. So that will be deemed as sufficient compliance for the independent directors under Companies Act 2013. Then it is again a specific one which is applicable to company beyond a certain threshold limit. Requirement under section 73(2)(c) of C Companies Act 2013 to create the deposit repayment reserve of 20% of deposit maturing during the financial year 2021 before 30th April shall be allowed to be complied with till 30th June 2020. I think, should I elaborate it?
बस थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ कर दीजिए सर.
ब्रीफ ये है कि कंपनीज, कुछ कंपनीज जैसे जिनकी कंपनीज की कैपिटल 100 करोड़ है और जिनका स्टेटस लिमिटेड कंपनी है, नॉट ए प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी, सब्जेक्ट टू सर्टेन कंप्लायंसेस, they can invite deposits from the general public under section 73, which is a very broad provision. And they can invite deposits from the individuals or general public. Deposits जब होंगे तो उसका maturity भी आएगा after certain say 3 years, 5 years. तो जितना जितना mature होता जा रहा है हर साल में, उसका 20% उनको जिस साल में mature हो रहा है उसका 20% specific funds में उनको या गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज में दे हैव टू इन्वेस्ट दैट अमाउंट. तो उसकी लिमिट जो 30th अप्रैल तक थी वो उसको बढ़ा के उन्होंने 30th जून कर दिया. तो ये एक रिलैक्सेशन जो डिपॉजिट टेकिंग कंपनीज है उनको दी गई. जो बिग कंपनीज है जैसे आप देखते हैं महिंद्रा फाइनेंस, ये सब जो इन्वाइट करती रहती है डिपॉजिट्स, उन सबको रिलैक्सेशन दे दिया. Non-compliance of minimum residency in India for a period of at least 182 days by at least one director of every company under section 149 of the Companies Act shall not be treated as a violation. बहुत सिंपल रीजन है इसका. 19 के कारण जो जहां फंसा रह गया है वो वहीं फंसा रह गया है. कोई आदमी इंग्लैंड में है और वो आई डोंट नो बाय व्हाट टाइम ही विल बी एबल टू कम, और उसका 182 डेज एक्सपायर हो गया है. तो दैट रिलैक्सेशन हैज बीन गिवन टू द डायरेक्टर्स, that it will not be treated as a violation. Then requirement of share capital debenture rules to invest or deposit at least 15% of amount of debentures maturing in specified method of investments or deposits before 30th April may be complied with till 30th. Again, almost similar to the point C.
Yeah, for the deposit.
Discussed deposits के केस में just उसका टाइम उन्होंने 30th April से बढ़ा के 30th जून कर दिया है. दोनों इंटरेस्ट बेयरिंग कंपोनेंट है, whether they are deposits, whether they are debentures. Newly in recently there was a change in the Companies Act 2013. Even the private limited companies were required to obtain a certificate of commencement of business. Under Companies Act 1956, it was applicable only in case of the public limited companies, not in case of private limited companies, to obtain a certificate of commencement of business. Now it has been mandatory for every company, whether it is a private limited or a limited company. Now this period has been extended by 180 more days for complying this provision. It is a very simple process, does not need much elaboration. Simply 180 days more has been given to companies to obtain certificate of commencement of business. अब GST law पे?
Yeah, GST law. 1 second.
Summary of relief measures relating to statutory and regulatory compliance under Goods and Services Tax Act in view of COVID-19. There are 2 categories of tax under this relief. One is annual aggregate turnover of up to 5 crore rupees, and second one is beyond 5 crore rupees. So those having aggregate annual turnover less than rupees 5 crore can file GSTR 3B, that is a monthly return, due in March, April and May 2020 by the last week of June 2020. No interest, late fee, penalty to be charged. So by last week of June 2020, the taxpayers have to file their returns for the month of March, April and May 2020. And taxpayers with annual aggregate turnover of more than rupees 5 crore, the due dates of GSTR 3B for February 20, March 20 and April 20 stand extended up to the last week of June 20. No late fees or penalty shall be levied. Any tax payments made after a delay of 15 days from the original due dates will attract a reduced rate of 9% instead of 18%. Reduced rate will apply to tax payments made between 20th March and 30th June 2020. If one is not able to file even by 30th June 2020, then the original position will be restored. There will not be reduced rate of interest. He has to pay at the rate of 18% if he does not file his return by 30th June 2020. And taxpayers registered under composition scheme. Due date for filing the statement cum challan in CMP 08. That is a very simplified form for the composition dealers. For the last quarter of financial year 1920, that is January-March 2020, is extended till the last week of June 2020. Similarly, the due date for filing GSTR 4 for financial 1920 is extended from 30th April 20 to last week of June 2020. Last date for opting into composition scheme for the financial year 2021 has been extended from 31st March to 2020 up to 30th June 2020. And the relaxation regarding issue of notice, notification, approval order, sanction order are almost similar what has been given under the Income Tax Act. It has been extended to 30th June 2020. Filing of appeal, furnishing of return statements, applications, reports or any other documents. And very important thing is GSTR annual returns. That is 9 and 9C. Financial year 18-19, which was 31st March 2020, is extended till the last week of 2020. Then there was a scheme brought in by the Government of India, Sabka Vishwas Scheme, LDRS. If there was any default or delay by the taxpayers regarding excise duty or service tax, there was a specific relief measures, there was a specific scheme which was to be availed by 31st March 2020. Now it has been extended to 30th June 2020, whereby the service defaulters on account of service tax, excise duty, custom duty could pay the tax amount without payment of any interest or penalty, based on a self-declaration basis and based on a statement given by them to the tax authorities. And based on that, the authorities will issue a satisfaction letter to the taxpayer that all the formalities have been complied with. My colleague, Mr. Gurvinder Singh, CA Gurvinder Singh, is also online. So he can also elaborate on the GST measures.
I think firstly we can take the question answer session.
Gurvinder, you want to elaborate on anything?
No, sir. No.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, we can take now question answer sessions.
Hello. If you have any questions from the participant side, you can ask.
We have one hand raised of Mr. Sanjeev Gupta. Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, please ask your question.
थैंक यू संजीव गुप्ता यार। मेरा जो क्वेश्चन है ये बैंकों का जो मोर्टम पीरियड है उस पे है।
हाँ जी।
इसमें जैसे रिजर्व बैंक ने सभी बैंकों को SPLR रेट्स वगैरह में 2% का डिस्काउंट दिया है, लेकिन जो बैंक हैं उन्होंने हमारी EMI भी 3 महीने आगे सरकारी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन हमें उन्होंने इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ा दिए और एट दी हमें तो कोई उसमें बेनिफिट नहीं हुआ ना। तीन ठीक है, एक रिलैक्सेशन मिल गई, डेफिनेटली हमें रिलैक्सेशन मिल गई कि हमारी किस्त 3 महीने बच जाएगी, लेकिन जो रिजर्व बैंक ने बैंकों को इंटरेस्ट वो कम कराए रेट 2% का या 1.5% का, वो बैंकों ने तो हमें पास ऑन नहीं करा। उन्हें हमारे जो लोन चल रहे हैं एग्जिस्टिंग लोन, उन पे रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट घटाना चाहिए ना। जब भी रिजर्व बैंक बढ़ाता है तो बैंक बढ़ा देते हैं। तो अब अगर उनका घटा है रेट तो हमारा घटना चाहिए, लेकिन घटाया नहीं उन्होंने। और ये हमें लग रहा है कि 3 महीने का मोटियम पीरियड मिल गया, इस 3 महीने में भी हमें इंटरेस्ट तो देना ही पड़ेगा ना उस पोस्ट को।
बिल्कुल।
मेरा क्वेश्चन ही
सुनील जी, सुनील मक्कू जी,
मैं इस बारे में थोड़ा सा एक अपडेट करना चाहूंगा आपको सर। हेलो, आवाज आ रही है सर? मैं थोड़ा अपडेट करना। एक्चुअली बैंकों का जो मोरेटोरियम है उसका बेनिफिट तो आपको मिल गया आई थिंक, और आप कह रहे हैं रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट का बेनिफिट नहीं मिल पाया हमें। वो सब अकाउंट टू अकाउंट डिपेंड करता है, अकाउंट किस स्टैंडर्ड पे है, क्या रेटिंग्स है, क्या उसके अकाउंट की स्टेटस है आज की डेट में, उस पर डिपेंड करता है। और कल हमारा बैंकों के साथ में एक 2-3 बैंकों का कॉन्फ्रेंस कर भी हमारा हो रहा है, तो बेटर है कल हम आपके इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर थोड़ा बेटर तरीके से दे पाएंगे और कुछ बैंकर इस तरीके को ज्यादा बेटर बता पाएंगे आपको।
थैंक यू।
संजीव जी, अगर आप बोले तो मैं आपका छोटा सा क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे दूं इसमें।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल दीजिए।
संजीव जी, इसमें ना आपका जैसे जो इक्विपमेंट लोन्स हैं वो सारे के सारे आपके फिक्स रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हैं। 2 टाइप के लोन्स होते हैं बैंक्स में, एक फिक्स रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है और एक आपका वेरिएबल रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है। इन एवरी केस व्हेनेवर आरबीआई रिड्यूसेस द बैंक रेट और इंक्रीजेस द बैंक रेट्स, आपके रेट्स अकॉर्डिंगली चेंज होते हैं अगर आपने फ्लेक्सिबल रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में लोन लिया है तो। Since the equipment loans which you have taken are under fixed rate contract, so you are not liable to get any benefit for rate reduction. अगर आज की डेट में आप नया लोन लेते हैं, कोई नया लोन के ऊपर जो आपका फिक्स रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, कभी भी आप देखना आपका कोई भी बैंक जो अगर आपने 8% पे लिया था और अगर आरबीआई ने रेट बढ़ा दिए हैं तो आपका रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कभी नहीं बढ़ता है फिक्स रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर। श्रेय नहीं, मैंने बैंक की बात करी है, मैंने श्रेय की नहीं, बैंक की बात करी है।
ओके, सॉरी।
Hope I have answered Sanjeev ji your question.
Yes, of course. I will.
Thank you.
Get the answer.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question for Rajesh ji. Rajesh ji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Rajesh ji,
I am hearing you.
Acha, good. Acha, Rajesh ji, just wanted to ask you one question on GST. When you are claiming, we are a rental company, equipment rental company, and we give equipments on rent to projects or infrastructure projects. Wherever we raise a bill with GST, if our company is registered in MSME, and we have been informed earlier also that MSME companies will get benefit of GST when you are claiming your GST payments and regular payments from private limited and limited companies. There will be they have to mention that there is a outstanding from of GST payments and regular basic payments for these MSME clients. So if we are not getting those payments on time, so what is the process? There was some process to escalate this matter and to forums, particular forum, to get your payments on time.
Sir, देखिए, Form 1 MSME is also there in the Companies Act as far as the private limited and limited companies are concerned.
Right.
For every year, for every half year, they have to file Form MSME 1 with the ROC. So as far as private limited and limited companies are concerned, they have to file Form 1 MSME for the payments due to MSMEs. I guess you are mentioning MSME registration number in your invoices or the POs which you have raised against the companies. And as far as payment is concerned, you can always raise your concern with the forums as well as the MSME Facilitation Council to get your payments on time.
Right. Thank you. We are mentioning those numbers, but for earlier payments, we have not mentioned. From January onwards, we have started mentioning that.
Definitely. So they have to file. अभी जो 31 मार्च में इन्होंने फाइल करेंगे, maybe the form date has been extended from MSME also, because all the terms has been extended till 30 June or the 30 September. So they have to file your name in the form MSME 1.
Okay. So just wanted to check whether can we find out from some portal that whether they have informed or they have reported that this much is the outstanding.
You can MSME of the companies through this ROC website. By paying 100 rupees challenge, you can always verify any form filed by the companies.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question.
Mr. Anil Pandey is there. I think they had raised the question: if he had invested before 31st March, it is considered in financial year 20, and if it is invested between 1st April 20 30 June 20, then it is on choice of the investor to which financial year he wants to consider his investment. Rajesh ji, could you please elaborate?
What type of investment he has done?
Anil ji, could you please ask your question?
Whether under Chapter 6, that means 80C, 80CC, 80DD, 80D, 80G, or any investment for the purpose of availing long-term capital gain exemption.
80C, sir. LIC or tuition fees.
Yes, if he makes an investment up to 30th June 2020, then it can be considered for the purpose of claiming deduction for financial year 1920.
They want कि 1920 में तो they have completed their investment. Now they want to claim it for the year 2021.
हाँ तो ठीक है, वो तो फिर सेम जो पहले प्रोसेस है उसमें कर सकते हैं. ये तो एक एक्स्ट्रा.
They have the choice whether they have to take in 2021 or 2022.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anil ji, I hope your query has been resolved. Yeah, Satin ji, if you can.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah, this is Satyan Sachdeva from Construction Equipment Rental Association. My question to Rajesh ji is, shall we be able to give a joint representation to the government with the council that for GST, we should be giving the money for GST on the receivable only. If we are not getting any money from our principal, why should we be giving this? This is a clear issue which is happening. Shall we come out with some joint representation to Ministry of Finance and RBI for this?
Definitely, sir, we can. For the cash payment basis.
Recoveries are really bad, Rajesh ji and Sandeep ji. This is really bad. And how we are unable to manage these GST issues. We don't want to have GST without receivable. It should be on a receivable basis, actually.
So we have
how do we go about it?
With the guidance of our Honorable President, Mr. Sunil Maggo, Dr. Sunil Maggo.
Yeah.
We can always,
we are relying on you, please.
We will definitely do this.
This is a major issue the entire construction equipment rental industry is facing. In fact, every businessman is facing the similar kind of a problem. So it should be on a receivable basis. Why should we, if we are not in the receipt of our money, why should we be paying that GST? And
I fully agree and endorse what you are saying, Satyan. And we will definitely take a call on this, and we will give a representation to the ministry.
Let's make a joint representation. Yes.
We will make a representation, and I will see to it that we get a result on this as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Babu sir.
We have raised multiple times that in case of GST on the reverse charge mechanism.
Exactly. This is what we are talking about.
In case of MSME as well as the startups, the GST should be payable under RCM mechanism. Why should we pay the GST, collect and pay the GST?
Exactly.
It's a very absurd and very illogical provision.
Illogical. Yes.
I will put it in very straight terms.
Let's take it forward. Yeah.
Sandeep, one more small question on salaries part. If you can just elaborate on the salary part, which the government has announced, that can we have, there will be some incentive on the salaries being given to the employees of MSME. It was announced a day before yesterday. So can you elaborate on that if anybody has an idea on this? That what kind of subvention, what kind of subsidy it is going to be there for MSME employees?
At present, I don't think there is any sort of relaxation or relief, but representations are being received from certain quarters for giving certain tax exemptions or tax breaks to all taxpayers, including the salaried workers.
we have to in line with the Germany and other countries because
yes, other governments have rightly said by Sandeep ji.
Yeah, because by filing GST returns, they are claiming back to the salary component from the government.
Correct.
Also want to cover this TDS part, which these NBFCs are deducting. How to go about it? They are not acting like the banks are acting for TDS thing. So NBFCs are not really following the RBI guidelines. So I think it has to be in a similar capacity. I mean, the banks and NBFC should be together to work in harmony, you know. But a lot of times we have seen that NBFC is not following RBI guidelines properly. We can do something out of it because we have taken loans from NBFCs as well as all the banks, which should be, you know, in harmony, and it should be in a win-win kind of a situation. Yes,
that's true.
So that my personal experience is that very few companies are not following the RBI guidelines. So far as Bajaj and other NBFCs, big NBFCs, they are following RBI guidelines because they appropriate the installment amount or interest amount to the full. And so far as the borrower is concerned, he has to deduct TDS. Either there has to be a modification in the Income Tax Act to bring NBFCs at par with the banks, where no TDS is required to be deducted by the borrower so far as the interest is concerned. Or a blanket guideline by the RBI or directive by RBI to all NBFCs.
Voice is cracking.
Get the amount of TDS deducted by the borrower towards their payment of installment or interest. Either in the
Hinduja want to ask a question.
In their borrower account.
Janu, please ask your question.
Hello. Sir, good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you.
20th March के आसपास ना एक HUF, is my voice hearable? हेलो सर, मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेश्चन.
हाँ सर, मैंने 20th मार्च को मैंने एक HUF पैन नंबर के अप्लाई किया था और वो मुझे अभी तक मिला नहीं. उसका रिसीवर को जनरेट हुआ बट वो पैन नंबर नहीं मिला अभी तक. तो क्या कोई बेनिफिट मैं 2019-20 का अब ले सकता हूँ, जैसे कुछ अकाउंट डिपॉजिट या कुछ ऐसा जो बेनिफिशियल है मेरे लिए? बट वो ईयर एंड हो गया 1920 में और अकाउंट नंबर तो आ ही जाएगा, दैट से अभी नहीं आता, हफ्ते बाद या 15 दिन बाद. बट क्या कुछ बेनिफिट मिल सकता है उसका मुझे?
HUF का आपने पैन नंबर अप्लाई
किया करके जैसे कुछ. हाँ जी, पर वो मिला, रिसिप्ट नंबर जनरेट हो गया, पैन नंबर नहीं आया.
So the incorporation date is before 31st March.
अभी भी नहीं आया तो हो सकता है.
HUF आपने इनकॉर्पोरेट कब करी थी?
इनकॉर्पोरेशन डेट
15th of March.
तो अप्लाई करा था 18th March.
तो आपने कोई बैंक में FD वगैरह करवाई है क्या HUF की?
अभी तो पैन नंबर ही नहीं है सर.
नहीं, वो नहीं कराई सर, वो पैन नंबर ही नहीं, अकाउंट नहीं खोल सकता.
Since they have made the HUF agreement, but they have applied for the PAN number, but the PAN number is not received till date due to that COVID-19 lockdown. So whether they can make
ऑनलाइन चेक किया था सर, आपने ऑनलाइन चेक किया था, पैन नंबर जनरेट हुआ था नहीं हुआ था? सर नहीं हुआ सर, क्योंकि कोई ना कोई मैसेज नहीं आया, जनरली मैसेज या कुछ आता वो भी नहीं आया और ऑनलाइन भी नहीं आया, अभी तक नहीं आया. फिर आगे तो रहेगा सर, क्योंकि अभी नहीं आएगा 15-10 दिन.
सर यू कैन चेक ऑनलाइन. आई थिंक आजकल वो ऑनलाइन प्रोसेस हो जाता है.
यस सर, यस सर,
फ्रॉम द वेबसाइट.
सर लेट्स से वो आ जाता है, आ तो जाएगा ही, अभी नहीं आएगा, हफ्ते तक आ जाएगा, पहले नहीं आएगा बट आ जाएगा.
बट सर अगर 31 मार्च के बाद आएगा ना सर, अगर 31 मार्च के बाद आएगा तो आपको बेनिफिट नहीं मिल पाएगा सर. फिर आपका क्रिएशन का डेट वही माना जाएगा जिस डेट पर पैन आपका क्रिएट होके आएगा सर.
नहीं, पैन नंबर में तो डेट मेंशन होगी जो सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन में होगा ना, जो एग्रीमेंट लगाया होगा. लेट्स से 15 मार्च को दे हैव मेड द HUF एग्रीमेंट, द पैन द इनकॉर्पोरेशन डेट वुड बी 15 मार्च का.
बस फिर तो सर आपको बेनिफिट मिल जाएगा, फिर तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है आपको.
So their question is कि मैं
अच्छा तो पैन नंबर डेट तो फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा ना.
अनुज जी, may I come in for this? आपने मार्च में जो है करा दिया, अगर आपको जो पैन नंबर वो इशू करेंगे तो जिस दिन आपने एप्लीकेशन डाली और जिस दिन आपका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसी दिन से करेंगे, ये नहीं कि जिस दिन आपको पोस्ट करेंगे उस दिन से करेंगे। तो आपकी मार्च में जनरेट हो गई और अभी आपने वेट किया, हफ्ता और वेट कर लो आप, और आपको बेनिफिट इसमें मिलेगा क्योंकि मार्च में आएगा। हाँ, तो डोंट वरी, जस्ट वेट फॉर फ्यू मोर डेज, यू गेट इट, देन यू कैन प्लान। 30 जून तक कर ही सकते हो आप, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
ओके सर, ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक्स अ लॉट सर, थैंक यू सर।
सतीन जी, आपकी आवाज बीच में रुक गई थी, you can ask.
We are also, our industry is also looking for an even GST structure. For some equipments it is 28% still, and majorly it is 18%. But for tippers and transit mixers, there are some categories of construction equipment wherein the GST is 28%. So we are asking for an even, GST structure for all the equipments. Make it 18 or even lesser than that, because many of our members are looking forward for the reduction of GST rates. Would like to listen from you, Mokko sir.
सत्यन जी, आप अपना जो भी है एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन, जो भी एप्रीहेंशंस हैं अपनी कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री की, क्योंकि मैं ये समझता हूँ इसमें जो आपकी पेमेंट जो रिलीज होती है उसमें भी 6 से 8 महीने, साल तक लग जाता है कई बार।
Absolutely,
तो वो इंडस्ट्री की कमर तोड़ने के लिए काफी है। तो आप जो भी आपकी एप्रीहेंशंस हैं, आप उनका एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन बनाओ। I'll see to it that we fix up a meeting with Mr. Anurag Singh Thakur, who is MOS State, and I'll personally see to it that the apprehensions are taken in a positive manner and it is rationalized.
Perfect, fantastic, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem.
तो मूवी टिकट्स में भी 12% कर दिया सर, we are demanding 18%.
Still 18% and 28%. These delays are actually killing us. The killing is the industry. The recoveries has to be now rationalized and it has to be taken care of. The recoveries, there has to be some body who is looking for these recoveries and all, and make sure that we'll get our money on time. This is what is required. Thank you.
Goji, I would like to add what Sadevaji has added just now. He correctly said there are two stages, two slabs of GST. One is 18%, second is 28%, which is all tire mounted and which are transport related equipments which are covered under 28%, and which are non-traction, non-tire mounted, which are covered under 18%. So these are the two slabs which have been. Just wanted to check. I believe transportation sector has 18% GST.
I think Rajesh will be in a position to confirm this whether it is 18 or 20.
एक परसेंट रिपीट करेंगे, सॉरी थोड़ा सा मैं
अरे जी जन्नत वादवा बोल रहा हूँ मैं। just wanted to check whether there is there are two slabs of GST in our rental equipments, construction equipment rentals, which is tire mounted, which is 28%, and non-tire mounted, which are not moved on road, that is 18%. These are the two slabs which have been identified as a GST for the equipment rental industry. Just wanted to confirm, what is the GST for transportation industry?
Sir, transportation industry, two rate of GST. Sir, transportation, two rates of GST. I think 18% or 5%. 18% with input tax credit.
Go ahead.
Hello.
गुरविंदर जी बोलिए, आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
Sir, 18% with input tax credit or 5% with no input tax credit.
Okay. It means if we 5% we are taking, we are not going to get any input for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is optional for the raiser, for the consumer,
yes,
or
sir,
the
yes,
service
sir, for
provider?
Consumer. Yes, sir.
Service
transportation
provider.
charges also, transportation charges also covered in reverse charge mechanism.
Okay.
For
so
individual
and transport, let's say large transport industries which are doing this cargo movement, they cover most of them under 18% or 5%?
Under 18%, sir.
Okay. 5% must be non-registered or maybe non-corporate or unorganized sector.
Under reverse charge mechanism, generally paid 5%.
Okay. So Sadeva ji, we can also work on that this thing
Yes. We will
for
surely
our
be
industry also.
we are coming up with the joint representation with the council and Maggu साहब के साथ मिलके and we'll take it forward. Surely.
सर अगली काउंसिल मीटिंग के अंदर जो जीएसटी की होगी, इसको 18% करवा दिया जाए.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
I must say, Maggoji, your confidence level is superb, and we are happy to see.
Thank you.
And the way you have said, I am sure that you will make it happen.
Sure, definitely it will happen.
So
Thank
nice
you,
of
thank
you. So nice of you. Thank you.
Any other queries?
I think we are over with that.
I have a question. Hello.
Yeah. Ask, sir.
Yeah. So जो डेट एक्सटेंशन आया था वो लॉकडाउन 1 के केस में आया था फॉर 38 जून. अब दोबारा लॉकडाउन बढ़ गया है. So any scope of extension of these dates of 38 June for further dates, and also FICCI has also proposed for 6 months extension for TDS and GST. So any light on this particular question?
सर अगर फर्दर और लॉकडाउन बढ़ता है तो उसके बाद कुछ हो सकता है. अभी तो फॉर द टाइमिंग आई थिंक 30 जून इज दिस, बट एज फार एज आई एम कंसर्न मेरे को लगता है, जो मेरी सोच है, कि फर्दर एक्सटेंड होना चाहिए, बिकॉज अदरवाइज द गुड वर्क डन विल बी नलिफाइड. So let us wait at conclusions के ये आगे बढ़ेगा या नहीं बढ़ेगा. पहले तो ये एक बार 3 मई का इंतजार कर लें, उसके बाद देखते हैं क्या होता है.
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
संदीप, anything else?
No, sir. Any questions from the participants? I think no questions has been left.
Rajan sir, anything?
अच्छा, ये पार्टिसिपेंट्स को मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि कल हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
यस, गो अहेड.
तो कल जो हमारा प्रोग्राम है सिडबी के साथ है, जिसमें ये 5% जो इनकी सेफ की स्कीम आई है, जिसमें लोन एट द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट 5% पे ये लोग अवेलेबल करा रहे हैं. तो डॉक्टर आचार्य जी जो जनरल मैनेजर है सिडबी के, वो खुद क्वेरीज लेंगे एमएसएमईज की. तो 50 लाख तक का, अप टू 50 लाख तक का लोन है, और इसमें ऑनलाइन है सारा प्रोसेस. सो जो भी एमएसएमईज हमारे साथ कल इस सेशन को ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं, तो सेम मीटिंग आईडी और सेम पासवर्ड के साथ कल 1 बजे वो लोग हमें कॉन्फ्रेंस में ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू.
Thank you all the participants. Thank you Maggu sir. Thank you Rajesh ji. Thank you Rajan ji. Thank you Arvind ji.
Thank you sir. Once again, big salute to Dr. Maggu sir.
Okay, nice. I am always there for everyone whosoever requires me at any moment. और मेरा ख्याल in nutshell जो है आज की deliberations का, hats off to my dear friend Rajesh for his wonderfully compiled write-up and very well explained amendments, and to our young team of Sandeep, Sunil and Ashutosh.
Thank you sir.
Done all the basic framework, और आज के लिए जो इन्होंने किया, और वो काबिल तारीफ है. और आगे भी I have known Ashutosh and Sandeep and Sunil, ये आगे हमको रखते हैं, लेकिन सारी मेहनत ये लोग खुद करते हैं. और इसलिए जो है we are moving leaps and bounds. और बिफोर वी एंड मेरी यही है कि फॉलो द गवर्नमेंट इंस्ट्रक्शंस जुडिशियसली, रिलीजियसली. अपना ख्याल रखें, परिवार का ख्याल रखें, पड़ोसियों का ख्याल रखें. और सबसे ज्यादा जो ख्याल रखने वाली बात है वो ये है कि हमारे आसपास जो जानवर या जो ऊपर पक्षी हैं, क्योंकि आजकल उनको दे आर नेग्लेक्टेड लॉट, तो उनका भी ख्याल रखें. उनका ख्याल रखेंगे तो ईश्वर हमारा ख्याल रखेगा. तो इसी के साथ मैं समझता हूँ we come to an end, और कल के लिए फिर कल दोबारा मिलते हैं.
Sir, we should end with a शायरी sir.
जी जी सर,
एक शायरी के साथ खत्म हो सर. एक शायरी के साथ खत्म हो सर.
शेर के साथ एंड करना चाहते हैं?
बिल्कुल जी.
अब शेर आपने ऐसे वक्त पूछ लिया तो मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो बोलूंगा जरूर.
वो कुछ बोलना भी तो पड़ता है पहले, कि शेर से पहले कुछ हम सब बोलना भी तो पड़ता है. इरशाद.
मैं सिर्फ इतना कह सकता हूँ कि चराग हूँ मैं तेरे काम आऊंगा. चराग हूँ मैं तेरे काम आऊंगा, जलूंगा फिर भी मैं मुस्कुराऊंगा.
क्या बात है. लेकिन थोड़ी सी भिजवा तो दो पहले. लॉकडाउन। मग्गो जी आप तो आप सीनियर हैं, सीनियर्स को छोटों को सर्व करना चाहिए।
बिल्कुल करना चाहिए, बिल्कुल उसके लिए आप कभी भी आए, आपका स्वागत है, लेकिन लॉकडाउन खुलने के बाद।
तो कल मिलते हैं इसी टाइम पे 1 बजे।
हाँ जी, कल 1 बजे।
अच्छा, with the same link we can join in.
Yes, same link.
Thank you all.
Thank you
all.
much.
Thank you for the speakers. Thank you for sparing your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.